Disability rights are about fairness and equality for everyone, including people with disabilities. These rights ensure that people with disabilities have the same opportunities as everyone else. This includes access to education, employment, transportation, and public spaces. Disability rights recognize that people with disabilities are valuable members of our communities. It's important to remember that disability is a natural part of human diversity. People with disabilities come from all walks of life and have unique talents, skills, and perspectives. Disability rights promote inclusion and celebrate the contributions of people with disabilities. Everyone deserves the opportunity to live a full and meaningful life. Disability rights help make this possible by removing barriers and creating a more just and equitable society. By understanding and supporting disability rights, we can create a world where everyone has the chance to thrive. Accessibility means making sure that everyone can use and enjoy spaces, services, and information. This is especially important for people with disabilities. Imagine not being able to enter a building, use a website, or understand important information. Non-discrimination means treating everyone fairly and equally, regardless of whether they have a disability. This means that people with disabilities have the right to the same opportunities in education, employment, and housing. When we make things accessible and practice non-discrimination, we create a more inclusive society. This means everyone can participate fully in all aspects of life. It's not just about ramps and elevators. It's about creating a world where everyone feels welcome, respected, and valued. Two important laws protect the rights of people with disabilities in the United States: the Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA, and Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act. The ADA is a landmark law passed in 1990. It prohibits discrimination against people with disabilities in many areas of life. This includes employment, transportation, public accommodations, and telecommunications. Section 504, which became law in 1973, prohibits discrimination based on disability in any program or activity that receives federal financial assistance. This includes schools, hospitals, and many other organizations. These laws have had a profound impact on the lives of people with disabilities. They have helped to create a more inclusive and accessible society where people with disabilities have the opportunity to live full and meaningful lives. Section 4. Real-world impact stories of inclusion. The ADA and Section 504 have made a real difference in the lives of people with disabilities. For example, thanks to the ADA, public buildings and transportation systems are now more accessible. Ramps, elevators, and accessible restrooms have removed physical barriers for people with mobility impairments. Assistive technology, like screen readers and captioning, have made it possible for people with disabilities to access information and participate in education and employment opportunities. These laws have also helped to change attitudes about disability. By promoting inclusion and non-discrimination, the ADA and Section 504 have helped to create a more accepting and welcoming society for people with disabilities. Section 5. The future is accessible, a vision of equality. The future of disability rights is bright. As we continue to break down barriers and challenge stereotypes, we move closer to a world where disability is not a barrier to opportunity. Imagine a world where every person, regardless of ability, can fully participate in society, contribute their talents, and achieve their dreams. This future requires ongoing commitment and action. We must continue to advocate for policies and practices that promote accessibility, inclusion, and equality. We must also challenge our own biases and work to create a more welcoming and inclusive world for everyone. Section 6. Continuing the journey. Advocacy and progress. The fight for disability rights is a marathon, not a sprint. While significant progress has been made, there is still work to be done. We must continue to advocate for the rights of people with disabilities and hold our leaders accountable for creating a more just and equitable society. Each of us has a role to play in creating a more inclusive world. By educating ourselves about disability rights, challenging discrimination, and supporting organizations that champion these rights, we can make a difference.